Hi friends, and welcome to another episode of Mimi at the 313 Grill and Kitchen. So today's episode is going to be kind of divided up into multiple parts. So we have decided we are going to make some homemade barbecue and kind of give you guys an idea of what we do and what is our method and how we do it. So how I'm going to make barbecue is we are going to smoke it. I've got and I'll show you this tomorrow, but I've got a Weber Smoky Mountain charcoal smoker. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go ahead and make our rub for the barbecue. Basically, I'm going to do a 7-pound pork shoulder, and I'm going to rub 3 simple ingredients on it. I'm going to do a olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of oregano. You know, you're going to want to bring some flavor to it. You may have your own rub, but if you want something that's very juicy and tender, this is what we like to do. A couple of things we're going to do tomorrow when we make the barbecue is we are going to show you how the method that I use to set up my smoker. What's the best method to smoke it? You want to slow cook it all day long. That's the best method to do it. Tomorrow we're also going to make barbecue sauce. We are going to make squash casserole. So tomorrow's going to be a very fun day. So I wanted to go ahead and let you know what we're going to be doing. So come on, let's go to the kitchen and let's make some barbecue. All right, folks, we got our Boston butt here. It's already been cut out. This is a 7-pound Boston butt pork shoulder, however you want to call it. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to put our rub onto the piece of meat. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to let all the olive oil, salt, pepper, and oregano come together overnight to make a very moist and tender taste barbecue. So our first step is what we're going to do is we are going to put olive oil. Avery, look, this is olive oil. We're making barbecue. So, first thing we do, we want to dribble it all over. Sorry for that blooper, folks. That was my lovely daughter. Okay, and then you want to take your meat, and always between each and every rub you want to wash your hands to avoid touching anything in the kitchen, contaminate anything in the kitchen. You're crazy. You are crazy.
Yeah, I know. You're crazy.
All right, Amy, that's enough, honey. Tell them bye. Tell the folks bye. Tell them bye. All right, so what we're going to do now. All right, so we got our olive oil applied. Now we are going to put some salt. Where's my salt at? Here's my salt. And you want to put a light amount on it because we're going to put a lot of pepper on it. Rub it in to the front, to the top. And we're going to rub it in to the bottom. And then you want to take your hands and just rub in the salt.
Daddy, you can do it.
Okay? Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Okay? All right, now we're going to add pepper. And we're going to add a good amount.
Yeah, go. I go.
All right. Then what you want to do is you just want to rub it in. Flip it over. We're going to do the same for the bottom.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Now, while we got... Okay, so our salt and pepper's rubbed, then we're going to add just a tad bit of oregano. We don't want to add too much, but just enough to give it some flavor. Some herb and some spices to it.
I want spicy. Meat.
Daniels, no. Ah! No. Apologize for the other blooper. That was my dog trying to get to the trash can. All right, when all this done, we're gonna wash our hands, get all the olive oil, because olive oil tends to make your hands a little slimy. All right, folks, this is what your seasoned barbecue pork shoulders look like. Now we're going to let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you how we set up the smoker, and we're going to have a fun day with us tomorrow.
Okay.
So stay tuned, folks. There's more to come.
Okay. Okay.
Folks, in continuation to our barbecue series, we are getting ready to light our smoker to make some homemade barbecue. I want to introduce you to my smoker. This is a Weber Smoky Mountain charcoal smoker. Forgot the diameter of it. And inside you got two compartments. You can actually cook two things at the same time. You got your water bowl. Underneath the water bowl is going to be your charcoal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the smoker prepped for smoking. So let's put this over here. Show you how we do this. The easiest way to do a Smoky Mountain smoker. Alright, we'll take our smoker apart. Now this is going to be your charcoal area. It's going to be on the bottom, so we're going to need to go ahead and clean it out. I'm going to go and do a quick clean out of it. I'm going to try to get it as much as cleaned out as possible. There we go. Take that, clean that off. Clean out our brushes. We're going to try to get things ready to smoke. We're going to make homemade barbecue today. So, now method that I like to use, we're going to use the minion method, and I'll show you that in just a second. So, the minion method is basically, we're going to put unlit coals. Now, I'll show you this in just a second, but we're going to put unlit coals on the outside of the ring. Got enough there, so we're going to make our, kind of keep these lit. And then now, so let me show you what we've done. Alright, so we are going to put our lit coals in the center, and we're going to keep the unlit coals on the outside. The idea of this method is to, when the center coals are lit, the fire spreads out evenly and can last for a couple of hours. But always make sure when you're smoking, you will be around close to this day to keep an eye on the fire and the temperature, as you may need to put some more coals in throughout the day. So what we're going to do here is our lighter. The typical method is you fill the charcoal up and put some paper in under there. So what we're going to do, we'll flip this upside down, and we're just going to put a light amount of charcoal to cover the top, and put your paper on the opposite side to have enough charcoal to spread out to the fire. And that's basically what we're going to do. So we're going to fill our charcoal up. Okay, just like that. And I need some newspaper. kind of start stuffing we're going to start stuffing up the chimney stacker with paper. What does he need to go in there? Alright, now we want to do, we're going to go ahead and light up. And light it from the bottom. Just kind of go around with it as much as we can without injuring yourself. All right. All right, so we got our fire going. While this is loading up and being the charcoal lit, we're going to get our smoker. We're going to clean it up. We're going to fill some water in our water bowl. In just a few minutes, we're going to assemble it and we're going to make some barbecue. All right, folks, we're checking in on our fire and looks like we are about ready to go. So at this time, we're going to go on and set up our grill. Show you how this is going to be done. All right, so the first thing you want to do is take your lit coals and put them in the center of the smoker. That's our first step. We'll put our glove on for safety. We're going to go on and get this going. Okay, we got our lit coals. And when the coals are lit, we're going to put some hickory. We just want to throw it along the side. Okay, so I'll show you what the aftermath looks like. Alrighty, so we got that going, and now we are going to set up the smoker. Okay, we're going to take this piece, put this in the center, right there, just like that she wrote. Make sure it doesn't, we'll keep it in balance. I'm going to take our racks. That's the other one, so we need the separate one. That is already smelling good. It's going to make our whole neighborhood smell good today. Alright. Now the best part, now it's time to throw the meat on. Let's come over here and show our prized possession meat. Ooh boy, doesn't she look good. Alright, I'm going to put this down. We're going to put our meat on the top rack and we'll be ready to go. Alright, pour some of that juice all over it, rub it in, there we go. Alright, I'm going to wipe my hands and then you can see what the final product looks like before we shut her up. Now the key to slow cooked pork, we want to cook it an hour a pound. So this 7 pounds, so this will be ready, I would say about about 10 o'clock, it'll be ready about 5:15 or so. Let me show you what it looks like. Doesn't she look delicious? All right. Let's go ahead and cover it up, let her cook. And the key to barbecue is we're going to let this cook about, we wanted the temperature to get to 250. I'm sorry, 225. Our temperature is going to be 225 to make a perfect barbecue. So we are ready to go. In just a little bit, we're going to make some sauce, and we got some exciting dishes coming our way. So enjoy this episode of the real barbecue at Meat Be at the 313 Grill and Kitchen. All right, folks, it is now 12 o'clock. The meat has been on about an hour, 45 minutes. Let's just take a sneak peek, see how we're doing so far. Woo, look at that. Coming along just nicely, folks. See how it's starting to brown on the top. And that's how we're doing. We'll have another check later on, but right now we're looking good. Temperature is doing just fine the way we want it to be. So we'll have another update here pretty soon. All right, folks, it's about 1 o'clock. I just checked the barbecue. It's going really good so far. It's cooking nicely and slowly we want to do it. So I think now would be the perfect time. We're going to make our homemade barbecue sauce. Now, you may have your own, when you have barbecue, you know, I grew up in Eastern North Carolina and we were all nothing but the vinegar-based chopped pork. That was what I grew up on, but I kind of developed, you know, now that I live in the central part of the state, I now know, kind of had a cringe to do a little bit. My wife likes a more of a sweeter sauce and I like more vinegar sauce, so let's just combine the two, maybe add a little bit. I actually found this recipe online as I was trying to develop some barbecue sauces and as I started smoking pork and whatnot. So I'll tell you the recipe we're going to do. It's a very sweet barbecue sauce. It's very similar to Sweet Ray's. You're going to need a cup and a half brown sugar. You're going to need 2.5 teaspoons of ground mustard, 2 teaspoons of paprika. You're going to need a teaspoon and a half of kosher salt, a teaspoon of pepper. You're going to need about 1.25 cups of ketchup. And you're going to need a half a cup of red wine, and then you're going to need a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And the reason why we're going to go ahead and make the barbecue sauce is because we want to let all the ingredients dissolve and blend because we got to refrigerate it for a couple of hours. So let's go ahead and begin our barbecue sauce. All right, let's see what I'm doing. We got our bowl. The first thing we want to do is take 1.5 cups of brown sugar. We'll make our cut. All right, we got our 1.5 cups. I want to get that combined. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to take our ground mustard. And we need 2.5 teaspoons of it. I'm going to get my teaspoon stick out. Let's see. We'll just do this. With 2.5, we're just going to use this right now. I'm just going to take that. Oops. Always be careful not to make messes. And this reason why we add this because we want the sweetness to come out in it. We don't want to do too much of it. So there's our mustard. We got that in. The next thing we need is we need some paprika. We don't want to put a lot in there, but just enough to bring out some flavor to it. And this is going to be 2 teaspoons. And I'm using a 1/4 cup teaspoon stick. I cannot find my regular one that I usually use. So this will be measured out. Right? We're just going to put a there we go. Got that in. Now we need is salt. This we only need this will only need a teaspoon and a half. So we're just gonna Okay. Now we need the pepper. And we only need 1 teaspoon of this. Okay, that part's good. Now we need 1.25 cups of ketchup. I got some ketchup here in the freezer if my dog moves out of the way. And we're going to take our ketchup. We'll probably need to add some more. We got so far. It's trash. We've got under cup, so we're gonna need some more. All right, there's our ketchup. Sorry if I've got the ketchup in the way of the camera. Alright, let's go ahead and get our spoon. Actually, let's use this one. Let me get a regular spoon. Let's throw that in. Now the nice part about this barbecue sauce, it does not contain high fructose corn syrup, which is another plus. All right, now we need the red wine vinegar. We need 1/2 cup. And we can just mix this in with the ketchup, which will be fine. See how we go with that. All right, we got that. Now let's add the Worcestershire in, which is 1 tablespoon. And then we can mix. And we could just kind of drizzle it in just like that. Okay. Now we can mix it up. We want to dissolve all of the sugar before we refrigerate it, and when you refrigerate it, the sugar will mix in with the ketchup, and that's where the sweetness is going to develop. You can leave it overnight, but we're going to leave it for a couple of hours. Give it plenty of time to do its magic. See the stirring result of it. And there goes my cell phone. All right. So here is our result. I'll go ahead and show you this. This is our homemade barbecue sauce. If you like to know how it tastes, let's find out. It's done mixing, so we are going to find out. That's good. All right. We'll let that refrigerate. We're going to have another update later. We'll check in later. All right, folks, it is about 4:30. I just checked the meat again, and it's almost done. It's looking nicely in the way we want to come with our barbecue. So we're going to go ahead and start prepping for supper tonight. So we're going to have homemade mac and cheese in the Instant Pot, which we showed you a couple of videos back. And we're going to make a homemade squash casserole. Here in the South, we love squash. And, you know, here we fry it or however you want to do it, but we also love our squash casseroles here in North Carolina. So the recipe is very simple. I went on ahead and chopped up the squash and onions, and this recipe is very simple. You're going to need about 6 medium squash, sliced up, thinly sliced, which we've already done. We also need 1 Vidalia onion, thinly sliced, which we've already sliced up. We're going to need a tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, a 1/2 cup grated Parmesan, a cup of shredded sharp cheddar, 1/2 cup of sour cream, salt and pepper to taste, and for your topping we're going to take 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers, crushed medium to fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and prep our oven. And we're going to need 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And while this is all done, we can go ahead and warm up our oven to 350, because once when you combine them all, we're going to bake it at 350 for about 20 minutes until it's bubbly and the top is golden. So let's go ahead and set our oven to 350. And then while this is going, we're going to add our tablespoon of oil. And also, when you want to saute the squash and the onions, you can also do a tablespoon of butter, which we are going to do. So let's get 1 tablespoon of butter. I'll throw that in the trash. One tablespoon of butter. There you go. And once when we get the squash and the onions going, we will make the other compartment for the casserole. Let that. And the key to cooking squash, just like stewed squash, you want to get the squash as soft as you can. Got a butter dish with keep that rest of that butter. Put the bag. All right. Okay. All right, now we can go ahead and add our squash. I'm gonna add our butter. Should have put this in a bigger pot. Woo. Overflowing it. So let's see what we can do with this. We'll use that bowl. Let's see what we can do. We should have cook this in a bigger pot, my friends. But once when you start doing everything with it, it will all come to place. Alright, we're going to let that start sauteing down. The next step, we're going to make our other compartment for the casserole. So let's take... Okay, never mind. We're going to let this saute first, and when it's done, we're going to put this in a bowl and we're going to combine everything. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Alright folks, I ended up having to transfer to the griddle because our bowl was overflowing and I'm not sure how long it would have got to cook off that squash, so sometimes bloopers do happen. But anyways, we're going to go ahead, it is ready to be transferred. So we're at this timer, let's transfer to a bowl. Turn this off. that unplugged. I need to get my hot pad. And let's just transfer everything over. It's over here. All right. We got our ingredients transferred over. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to combine everything to a large bowl. So let's put this into this large bowl. And then we're going to combine our main ingredients for the casserole. Now we want to add in sour cream. And we want to do a half a cup. I'm sorry, a cup, half a cup of sour cream. Okay. There's part of it. There's your sour cream. And the next thing we want is a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Okay, so pour that in. And we need a cup of grated cheese. Of sharp cheddar cheese, rather. Pour that in like that. And since we made a little extra, we could probably fold in just a hair bit more of Parmesan. This is okay to do. All right, the next thing we want to do is add our salt and pepper for taste. Let's keep on adding some. All right, at this point, we are good and we can start. Go ahead and fold everything in. All right, that's well mixed together. And we go ahead and add this to our mixing bowl. And the last thing that we want to do, folks, is we want to add our crushed Ritz crackers. So let's go ahead. We need to add a sleeve. We're going to go and crush them and top them over. The easy way to do this is just bang it like that. All right, we're good. And we want to over the top evenly at a time. All right. So this is what it should look like before it goes into the oven. So now we're going to put it in the oven for 350. We're going to bake it for about 20 minutes until the top is golden or it's bubbly. But as right now, let's go check on our barbecue to see how it's going. All right, folks, it is about ready to pull it off. I just went to go take another look at it. I'm going to do some checks on it. In just a few minutes, we're going to pull it off. We're going to have some good barbecue. And this is how you want it to look after you smoke it all day long. You want that nice brown, dark brown, light black color texture on the top. And you still want some juice in it. You still want all that moist in it. So I think at this point, we're going to go check it up. And we'll see how it looks. This looks delicious. Yum, yum. Here is our chopped barbecue, folks. We are getting ready to chop it up.
What?
Let's chop it up and enjoy it. All right, folks, we got our chopped pork. That looks amazingly delicious. We've got our finished squash casserole, and we've got our mac and cheese and our barbecue sauce. So I think at this time, let's find out how it is. I have been waiting all day long to savor this moment. So let's find out how things are. That's probably the best pork I've ever made. Very tender, moist. And that's the way you want it to. And let's try this, a little bit of the squash casserole. Really good. So, if you'd like to have any of these recipes that you saw on this day-long adventure today, let me know. This has been one of my favorite things to do, is just putting something on the smoker and just sitting around all day and watching it cook. So until next time, folks, this has been 313 Grill and Kitchen. My name is Patrick, and hope you all have a wonderful day. And God bless.